Yes, I go on about this a lot, I know, before you ask, so don't click off. But one thing I haven't done is I haven't gone through my collection of games for it, which I thought I would have by now, but I will, and hopefully share them with you. So I'm not going to talk about the console. If you want to listen about the console, go down into my playlist and find the video that I do about the console. The games I have for it, well, it's because there's so few games for it released in such a short amount of time. It's just tricky to get hold of them nowadays. Extremely tricky. They come up every so often on eBay. They're never in charity shops or car boots or any kind of second-hand stores or anything like that. You'd be extremely lucky to find anything like that. But over the years, I've managed to get 15 of the 26 games, which in a way I find it actually disappointing. I wanted more by this point, but I don't. Some guys have got more. My realistic target is to get 22 of them, because if I get 22 of them, I can be satisfied then. The 4 that would be missing, I can't imagine how I would get hold of them, or even find the money to buy them. I probably would find a way actually if they turned up out of the blue. The 4 rarest games on the system are Copter 271 by L'Oreal, I think, which is as rare as Rocking Horse Doo-Doos. And you've also got the Phaser pack with the light gun, which came with Enforcer and Skeet Shoot. They're both actually very good games with the light gun. Again though, rare as diamond encrusted doo-doo turd. So I wouldn't even know where to start. But the rarest game by far, and probably one of the rarest games on the planet, is Chase HQ2 Special Criminal Investigations. It's actually a very shoddy port of the Spectrum version, just colorized with the GX's color palette. So it's not a great game, but I would still have it in the collection because it is just probably one of the rarest games ever, especially for a machine as obscure as this. So if anyone has got them 4, give me a call or give me a message somehow. Let's talk. But anyway, let's go through the games that I've got. 13 of them are boxed with instructions, so we'll kick off straight away with this Tennis Cup 2. 2 tennis games on the GX, strangely. This is one by L'Oreal. Some lovely split screen is used on this. It's nice to see an 8-bit do split screen, and it does it very well. It's got nice graphics, coloured nicely, it's presented nicely. It's got national anthems in it. It's got the names of the venues, the official names, Wimbledon and you know, Roland Garros and stuff like that. Unfortunately, playing the game is a little bit jerky, a little bit cumbersome and sluggish. You can do a fair bit of shot making. There's different kind of shots you can do. You can do a backhand, a top spin, that kind of stuff, with using both the buttons on the GX. But it's difficult to do, and it's pretty tough. But it's also one of the more common ones you can get. The second tennis game, which is this. I think this is the better tennis game out of the 2. It's got more basic looking graphics in a way, animated lovely. The perspective change is just abysmal though, but we'll just ignore that. It doesn't have the same like official names Tennis Cup 2 does. It doesn't have split screen either, so the second player will play it at the back. But that's fine because it works fine like that. It's not really about shot making in Pro Tennis Tour. It's positional based, kind of very basic tennis game, very simple. Just get your position right on court and hit the button. That's all you need to do, and the shot is automatic, whatever the position you find yourself in. Again, several courts, tournaments. It's a more enjoyable game than that one, and you can pass the time on this. It's known as Great Courts Tennis, I think, on the Amiga and other systems, but named Pro Tennis Tour for the GX. It's one of my best conditioned ones, this. It's actually, apart from the label there, it is in absolutely perfect condition, like it just come off the shelf. So I do like it. Now, one of the best games for the GX is this. Excuse me. Have a slurp. Switchblade. Adventuring platformer. Great game, love it. Some excellent music, brilliant graphics. It's gonna rendered in a Mode 1 graphical style that the Amstrad has, but it's done so well. Very similar to the CPC version. It is. We're going to get to that. A lot of the GX4 games are basically CPC ports, which we already know. This is enhanced though, slightly, but it's still a brilliant game and one of the best for the system. Again, I've got this in lovely, perfect condition. I think I picked them up. I think I picked Switchblade up separately about 4 years ago from an eBayer. Now, this came out on every system at the time when it was out, Crazy Cars 2, and yes, it was just as pretty lackluster on the GX as it was on every other version. They didn't really get it right until Crazy Cars 3, but the idea is nice. The implementation is rubbish, but the idea is nice, where you can plot your map over the Mid-Americas. No. Central America. No, we're not talking about Central America. We're talking about obviously the United States, and it has 4 states and a map where you can plot your route and chase the bad dudes down. It doesn't enhance. It doesn't use the GX's talents for graphics at all, really. It's nice, okay. It's good looking. It's very plain, quite basic, and a bit slow, but not the worst ever. But at least Titus did port it over. Another one that Titus ported over when I'm not coughing my lungs up is Fire and Forget 2. And it has similar traits with Crazy Cars 2, apart from the 2. It's just too basic and too plain and sparse. Again, idea is excellent. Very similar road blasters, flying cars, and rockets on the side of your car and that kind of thing. Very road blasters, but too sparse. Not enough going on. Gets dull and repeats quickly. The funny story about this is, because it was one of the first releases after the initial launch. The launch ones were Batman and Barbarian and all them. This came first. And Amstrad actually reviewed it, gave it a whopping 92% or something like that out of 100, because they're just blown away by the graphics. It does have nice graphics, but of course, in retrospect, the gameplay is just quite hollow. But it's quite a common one, that as well. But it can go for a few quid. All of these games can go for a few quid, to be honest. All of them can, including this one, which is one of the best ones on the system. Domark Tangen. Ooh, I should have said that right like that. Clax. Every system this came out on. And I don't think I've played Clax badly on any system. I think it lends itself to every system in a unique way. It's great on the Spectrum. It's wonderful on the Amiga. TG16 version's lovely as well. It's one of my favourite puzzlers. Yeah, love it. And again, this one is, I think, it's probably more than Protester. It's in absolutely speaking condition. But you still have that smell. You always love that smell that cartridges gave off, or is it just me? But direct port of the CPC, unfortunately, so it's no different to the tape or disc version, which is a pity. This one was my latest pickup. I got this from a fellow in Texas. Why the hell this was in Texas, I have no idea. How did it end up there? The machine wasn't even released outside of Europe. So how this game ended up in the US, no clue. But I got it for a steal, because this normally goes for over 30-40 quid easy. And I got this for a steal, under $20. And it's just in great condition. It's got a little bit of watermarking here and there. I don't think the guy knew what it was personally. And again, just an average game, really. It's not special in any other way. It's a 2D, 2D, yeah, it's 2D, of course it's bloody 2D. This is 8-bit we're talking about here. It's a one-on-one fighter. It's okay. Not. Some people call this the worst game on the system, and I disagree completely. It's not the worst. It's not one of the best, certainly, but it's not one of the worst either. It's, again, in the middle, like most of the games on the system, middling, in the middle, sort of like the 50%, if you're going to go by the 100% scale, 50%, 60% kind of thing. Nice background graphics. Does differ from the CPC version. Yeah, it's definitely enhanced graphically, so it's difficult to work moving. This is like the spiritual sort of successor to California Games by Epic's World of Sports. Oh look, that's glue's gone on that. Again, in great condition. Very good, this actually. The animation is absolutely excellent. Parts of it can be really fun. The BMXing, the surfing, just like they were on California Games. See, that's weird because it has a skier, slalom skiing. Well, that's new. You see, years after owning it, and I've never played that because I always go to the cliff diving and surfing and the BMXing. But I like this. It's good. It's got some lovely graphics, beautiful graphics for this one. But the problem is there's only 4 sports on it, and you can only play them individually as well. So it does have very little shelf life. But it's a nice game. Yeah. Well, hands up, who knows what the sequel to that is? You don't have to be a genius in retro games to know. Operation Thunderbolt. One of the most disappointing games on the system list because it is identical to the CPC version, and it's even missing the title loading screen. I know the GX doesn't need a loading screen, but just to blip it up there before you get into the game would be nice. And it was a nice loading screen as well. So disappointing. It's identical to the CPC version. It's graphically, that's probably what I can describe it. The scrolling is just poor. What am I doing with my finger? It's too jerky. Side scrolling is better. I mean, when it goes into sort of Operation Wolf mode and goes sideways, much more enjoyable to play. But when you're going forwards and flying through the air, that kind of stuff, it doesn't work for me. You can lose your crosshair. But and very common to find this one. One of the launch titles. This came out with the machine, well, just after the machine, and then nothing came out for months and months and months and months. The machine was dead, and then all of a sudden the games arrived. Bit late, guys, but yeah, got that safe and sound. This is one of my favourites in the collection because there's not many of these around. Navy SEALs, graphically, brilliant. Graphically, this is brilliant, excellent. Very Contra. Think Contra, very similar, like a shooting shinobi maybe. It's challenging, very hard, platform run and gun kind of thing. It's a bit. This one's still got the smell, but it's a bit tainted, the cartridge itself. But the box is in good condition. The instructions, I think, have never been taken out of that slip there. So, one of the better games. One of my favourites actually for the system. This, yeah, very good. Very good Navy SEALs. Graphically, absolutely superb. And then speaking about excellent graphics, this. Now, we know the film wasn't as good as the first, but the game, oh yeah. Oh yeah, the game is excellent. I would defy anyone to put a screenshot of this to a screenshot of the Amiga version and tell me the difference, or the ST version and tell me the difference. It is that graphically beautiful. It's absolutely, you look at it and you think, how the hell is that 8-bit? You wouldn't think. But it is, and it plays lovely. It's got great sound. This was one of my first purchases. I bought this on the same time I got given the console. So it's an old cartridge with lots of finger marks and stains on it, and it's only just hanging on to work. But it still does work, and the box is in great condition as well. One of the best games on the system, the second best game on the system. Robocop 2, Ocean. Ocean did loads of games, as you probably noticed. They did Navy SEALs, and that, and loads of others, and we're going to go a couple more there as well. They either did one of two things. They either did what they did with Robocop 2 and make it bloody excellent, or they did what they did with Operation Thunderbolt and just ported it over from the CPC with the most laziest programmers ever. So, you know, what can you say? Speaking about porting things over directly, Batman, good game. Excellent looking. When it was on the CPC, this is superb. A superb game on the CPC. But GX could have done much better. It doesn't... Oh, shut up. I've still got to turn it off. I completely lost my way now. Bleeding phone. Yeah, the GX could have made this look more like... Well, maybe not the Amiga version. The Amiga version was lovely looking. But it certainly could have done more certainly with the graphics. Have a look down in the description box and you'll find my NRG of it. It's still a great game. You know, it's a solid 8 out of 10, even on the GX. But again, the GX could have done better with it. It was just a bit of lazy porting again. And again, something just like Operation Thunderbolt with the title screen missing. There's a shattering sound effect that it enters every stage, all the 5 stages, a nice shattering sound effect where the background shatters away. That shattering sound effect is gone. And I don't know why. There's no explanation why that's missing. There's no reason. Weird. But still, a pretty good game. And we round off the boxed games with Barbarian 2 Dungeon of Drax. Again, another direct port, unfortunately. Still quite enjoyable. Solid 6-7 out of 10. You know, venturing maze kind of slash 'em up kind of thing. With my wolf on the front, Michael Van Rijk, or whatever his name is. Why is he on the front? Bring back Maria Whittaker. She was on the front of the first game. Again, Ocean. Again, not bad. Not one of the originals either. Unboxed, of course, I have this. Well, anybody that has a GX should have this. I've got 2 copies of this. This is the original copy from my first GX, which has had it. And my new copy, which is tucked away safe and sound with my new GX. Well, when I say new GX, I hardly ever use GX, because this is my 3rd machine, which is on its last legs. If anyone's an electronics whiz and can fix it, I'd be very grateful. But the one upstairs is in A1 perfect condition, as you can see from my unboxing video. It's just in a permanent state of hibernation because I'm looking after it like a little kitten. But so I haven't taken the game out. But the best game on the system by a country mile, and I haven't got the box for it, is Pang. It's just got everything. It's graphically brilliant, the animation is excellent, the sound is superb, the playability, the longevity. It's just a stunning game. One of my favourite games ever, this is. And, you know, I'm putting this against some of the modern games as well that I really like, for instance, Secret of Mana. Well, that's not modern, is it? But, you know, you get my gist. You know, it's a lot more advanced than this. But this is right up there with one of my best games ever released. Superb, loads of fun. Play it whenever I'm not playing everything else, and I've got so much to get through anyway. The story of what happened to the box is a depressing one. It's just like the fate of my first and second GX4000 and my CPC monitor and a few other consoles that I've owned over the years. When I was younger, I did not tend to look after them very well, as you do when you're a kid, which I'm brewing now. It's just amazing that actually Robocop 2 got... Shut the hell up! It's amazing Robocop 2 actually got here intact still. The box of that ended up as an ashtray, and I think I ended up cutting the instructions up just because I was bored. But I was a stupid man. Well, I wasn't even a man, I was a boy when I did that. Why I did it with Pang, I have no clue. I could have done it with any of the other games I had, and I could have replaced it, but I had to do it with not only the best game on the system, but also very difficult to get hold of now. If you find a copy of Pang, boxed instructions now, you're looking at the best part of a ton, because everyone knows it's the best game on the system. So there you go, that's my 15 games for the system. The games that I want, obviously there's well, going up to 22. There's Dick Tracy, Panzer Kickboxing, Mystical, Plotting. I really want that. Lovely game. I like Plotting. Plotting is one of my favourite games. I had it once and then forget it. Yeah, I've said Panzer Kickboxing, haven't I? Wild Streets. Well, I want it. That is the worst game on the console by bloody far, but I still want it. Tintin on the Moon. That's a terrible game as well, but again, want it. I think there's I'm missing one. I do know them. The 4 I've already mentioned, of course. And there's some bootlegs out there as well. The mysterious story of Gaza 2, for instance. Not Gascon himself, even though he is rather mysterious and nuts. But the game, which was reviewed by Amstrad Action and apparently was stocked by certain mail order companies. Where is it now? No, never saw a copy. Ever. And I don't know anybody who ever saw a copy. So was it actually released? We don't know. It could be out there somewhere. There's also apparently rumoured bootlegs of Final Fight, which is lifted from the CPC, of course. And Street Fighter, I don't know how they would got that. Street Fighter 2 never came out in the CPC, so maybe it was a hacked version of this Commodore 64 version. I don't know. But if anybody, please, this is a plea, if anybody has got any of these games sitting in a dusty cupboard somewhere or a loft and you don't know what they are or you don't want them, drop me a line. Please drop me a line and we will talk. We will talk serious. So, that's all really I've got to say. That's my collection of GX4000 games. I hope you enjoyed that, and I've got a scratchy head, it's just got an itch me head. I'm going to have a sip of my tea, throw my phone out the window and say, Nova Bug out.